Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be putting new spark plugs in our new X5M. If you guys watched the video before this, you'll know that we got our first M car, little SUV guy for towing. But anyways, let's get into the video. The tools you're going to need for this job is a 3/8 ratchet, a variety of extensions, T30 Torx socket, also a 10 and 8 mil socket, also a 17 mil thin walled socket that I will link down in the description below, and also some zip ties so then you can pull some of the back coil packs out. Next, you're going to want to open up your hood. Just go inside, pull that latch, lift up the hood. Next thing you want to do is open up the back of the trunk and make sure that you disconnect the batteries. Anytime you work on a BMW, it's a good idea to disconnect the batteries so that you don't have any problems with anything electrical. And the way you do that is disconnect all of these 8mm bolts and you can take off the cover. Now we're disconnecting the batteries. My wife is going to show you how to do this just to prove that it's so easy even a woman could do it. That was a joke, please don't cancel me. As you can see that we're using a 10 mil socket to take off the terminal, and you want to make sure that you have something in the way to make sure that it doesn't arc while you're disconnecting your spark plugs. On the other side, I have a wrench to do this because they put the bolt in such a weird, awkward place. I don't know why they would do that, but it is a BMW. Next, you want to check your spark plug gap and make sure they're the right ones. These all came in pretty darn close to the actual spec that they need to be. It's going to be 0.022 to 0.023. Then you're going to want to take off your engine cover. Next, you're going to want to disconnect the clips that hold in all your wiring and kind of get it so you can move it out of the way so you can reach your spark plugs. There's also a coolant hose there that you need to pull up out of the little holder as well. Next, you're going to want to pull up your coil packs, and the way how you do that is open up the tab, push the wire out of the way and pull the plug out. Then you got to pull up the spark plug coil pack. That is going to be a little difficult. This, you can see it a little bit better that I opened up the tab, pulled the plug out, and then stuck my finger in there and yanked that hoe out. Now for the back two coil packs, I actually couldn't really get this with my hand because they're a little stubborn. So I put zip tie around there and then used a little bit of leverage, yanked that hoe out as well. Repeat the process with the other back two, but for now we're doing it on one side. As you can see, they're all taken out. And then what I like to do is set all my coil packs in a row the way how I pulled them out. Now we can go over to the other side, and without removing anything, you can also do the same thing with the front one. But the back three, it's going to be a little difficult. As you can see, my wife is doing this one as well. I told you guys, it's so easy, a woman can do it. Now to access the back three, you're going to have to disconnect the bracket that holds on this reservoir. You're going to do that with a Torx socket, and that's going to be a T30. As you can see, I also have a bunch of weird extension situation just to make this work because I didn't have all the tools that I mentioned that you're going to need. Now the top two bolts are really easy to see and get to. The other one's not too hard, you just don't really see it until you start looking. You just gotta disconnect that and then you can move the reservoir out of the way. Once you get all your coil packs disconnected, then you're going to want to use your thin walled spark plug socket and disconnect your first spark plug. You're going to want to make sure you don't drop anything in there, because then it will be a bad day for you, and you also probably want to use a better ratchet than me that I have right now. This is the comparison for the two spark plugs, and you just want to make sure you set all the spark plugs in the same spot, so you know if something looks really bad, you got to make sure something isn't also going wrong with it as well. You also want to put these spark plugs in very nicely, and make sure you tighten it as hard as you can with your hand before you start using a ratchet. Once you get that all snugged up to 17 foot-pounds, you're going to want to put in your coil pack and plug it in. All you have to do is plug in the plug and then put down the tab, and it pulls it all the way down. Make sure it's all seated. Next tip, as you can see, I had some tape on there. That is going to make sure the spark plug socket doesn't come off while you're working on it. That happened to me last time, so that's why I put tape on there. Nice little tip for you guys. Now, since I already have the 12-inch extension on here, I'm going to go and do the other two front spark plugs. The back two spark plugs are going to require a 6-inch plus a 3-inch socket extension, just so you can fit it underneath the strut tower brace.
Hey guys, I got a spark plug out.
Once you got your spark plugs and coil packs back into where they should go, you got to put your reservoir back where it goes and bolt it down. After you do that, make sure that you put your wires back where they need to go, and also that little coolant hose as well. Now that everything is put back together in your engine bay, the last thing is to put your cover back on. Next up, you're going to want to put your terminals for your batteries back on, and make sure that all of your 8mm screws are put back in on the cover for them.